Big spoilers for my short film, The Aftermath, coming up, so if you have not seen it, go click up here and watch it right now, and then come back to see how I made it. Without further ado, this is the behind the scenes. Now, last month I put out my short film, The Aftermath. Now, this was completely a passion project. It was a project that I really wanted to do super bad and was really excited to tackle. Now, this project had some hiccups, which I'll get into this video about, but let's start off with how this project started. Now, I really am a huge fan of Mad Max Fury Road, and I really wanted to do something kind of in the apocalyptic style that had. So my mind went to telling the story of what would happen if there was this family and their father was a large figure and he had a prophecy and an idea about what the world should have for peace, but both brothers interpreted it differently. One interpreted peace as desolation and the apocalypse, and the other one interpreted it as being peaceful and giving back to nature. Now, the father meant going back to nature, but the kid who created the apocalypse thought he was wrong and ended up creating the apocalypse. So that was the two sides of the story. Bones makes the apocalypse, and Ash balances that non-apocalyptic world. So we got these two halves, and that was a ton of fun for me to write those arguments. So I wrote it here at this desk on my monitor back here, and had a ton of fun writing the script. I then went to a fabric store to be able to build up my desert face mask area, and I got the sheet that I wear as the father. Now, I was originally going to make this a cape, but I wanted to conceal my identity more. Now, Mickey ended up having the gas mask that he wore, so that saved me some money, being able to use something that he already had. And I had the walking stick I used as the father, so we had that all taken care of. Now, one thing is the grenade that was used in this film was just a simple prop that I made. Now, to be able to do this, I used these wood spheres. I Sharpied it over to make it black. Now, I hammered a bunch of nails to make it look like it had some metal parts into it. Then I took the actual wood and just smashed it a few times on different concrete surfaces to make it look a little more weathered, and I think it looked really nice in the actual film. I think it definitely held up as a good grenade prop. Great, our props were done. We shot it on open space about a half hour away from me, and we shot it on a early November day when it was still really hot out, so we had that desert look going on for us. Now, initially we were supposed to shoot the film 2 weeks prior. However, in my area there was a really big fire, and so they closed down all access to this open space. So we weren't able to film. We looked at other places, but nothing would compare to this location that we found. We found another location, but it was too far and non-logistically feasible to get to. So we postponed our filming day for a couple weeks until the fires cleared enough for us to be able to go back up to film this. Now, the first day we were filming, we got to the location, we were setting up, and Mickey had an emergency. His work didn't tell him that he was scheduled, so he had to leave filming after us only filming 2 shots. So the whole day was scrapped. We scrapped the entire day and rescheduled for the next day. Now, the next day we got to set, but we only had 3 hours due to another conflict that I had. I had another shoot in the afternoon, but we needed to get this short film shot, so we had 3 hours to work with. We started filming in the first location, which is our present day timeline. After the apocalypse had been created, Ash was trying to stop Bones. Now, the car shot where I blew up the car, and I say blow up the car because I just copped in an explosion, was done that first day. And then that second day was where we had the meeting and the conflict. So once we got to this meeting conflict, it was a lot of fun to film. Now, we shot the dialogue part as fast as we could because I really wanted to focus on Mickey's part where he got hit. I knew that part I could really ramp up the energy in the film. So we shot that, we used fake blood, had it all over the ground, and it looked really nice in the
end of the film. We actually had a bunch of shots with the fake blood, but it just didn't fit pacing-wise. So then we moved to our second location, which was the past. We jumped 2 years back to when the father was still alive and they were trying to flee to the last bit of the world where Bones had not destroyed. Now in reality, this was about a half-mile walk from the first location to this forest area. So we walked there and we set up and started filming. Now this was just really easy to film. It was just a lot of dialogue, a lot of talking, flipping back and forth between our angles. And that's how we shot it. It was a very simple day. We were a little rushed and could have gotten a little more coverage had we not had the time constraint, but overall it worked really well and I was happy with the film. Now on the day I recorded bunch of footsteps on the different grounds so I also recorded sounds for the car driving on the dirt road from inside and outside the car, and a few other sound effects that were particular to the location. Once I got back here, I used a Blue Snowball microphone to record a bunch of the other Foley, as well as my iPhone XR to record stuff like the door opening and closing. I used a rock to simulate the sound of the grenade being thrown, and it was a lot of fun and easy stuff. Now the Aftermath film had some problems in the actual film. It wasn't a perfect film, but it was a lot of fun for me to make and a huge learning experience, and that's what I most took out of it. It was a learning experience. Learning about scheduling was a big one, learning to make sure that everyone knew that this was the top priority and that everything had to come around that, and also learning how to work under pressure of people needing to go and having different obligations, meaning you can't get out of that area, so you have to work with what you're given to get the most amount of coverage. It taught me a lot, and I'm definitely ready to take on larger projects since making this film. I hope you enjoyed the film, and if you have not seen it, go watch it because it is great. I highly recommend. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.